everyone. I'm Danielle.
I'm Kisha. Good morning.
I'm Farrah.
I'm Talia.
We've been doing a series on Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman, and we are taking it a little further where we're going through verses 13 through 15 this week. I'm starting with verse 13. She seeks out wool and flax and works with willing hands to develop it. I don't know the last time I went to the store and bought wool on purpose alone.
Right.
Or, I mean, I've purchased flaxseed before, but not
for
flax.
smoothies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think for us, for ladies, do you have any idea of how practical that would be for us now? What that actually means for us? Like, I'm not going to the store and buying wool and flax. What does that look like for me if I want to be like a Proverbs 31 woman and she did that?
I think in biblical times or biblical land, they were actually making their clothes from scratch. So she was out there making the wool or buying the wool to actually build her family's clothes, and she was being, thrifty with it. She found ways to make it work for her. I think the P31 verse 13 woman today would actually be out there probably bargain shopping or at the thrift store, being cost-minded and paying attention to cost, as I have here. She is not an idiot.
No, not an idiot. Not at all. Not at all. The version that I'm reading, it says that she seeketh. So a woman who searches, she's searching. And so in this day and time, like Kisha was saying, is that she used wool and flax was something that she used, but it doesn't seem like it was something that was so readily available. So she had to go and find it. Mm-hmm. And I think the woman of Proverbs 31 today would be a woman that seeks out the best resources. So if she has to journey for the healthiest of foods, she would go. If she has to go for the best bargain, she would go. Whatever that resource is, she's going to seek it out. So she may be an avid Googler. She may be someone
who goes to the farmer's market.
Who actually goes to the farmer's market.
Or coupons.
Yeah, yeah, who actually coupons. So she's one of those women who's extremely savvy, and she makes sure that she stays in the know. And I think that's important for today's woman, like it was yesterday.
Verse 15 says, she rises while it is yet night and gets food, spiritual food, for her household and assigns her maids their tasks. Talia, do you like to wake up early? What is your take on that? Do you think that waking up early is essential to becoming a godly woman?
Well, before going into that, I guess I'd like to tackle it from another aspect of the practical sense of waking up early. So I do wake up early now. I have to be at work by 8, and I'm usually there by about 6:45, 7. And I do that because I just have to get started on the day before everyone comes in and they unload all of their problems or their wants or their needs.
Wait, hold on. You get to work for 6:45?
I usually get to work between 6:45 and 7:30.
Oh.
Wow.
And I have to be there by 8.
I usually get a cup of tea.
But I think something we were talking about earlier, like one of the essential aspects of being healthy is making sure that you can make your day as productive as possible, whether that is, preparing your food so that you're not having to buy junk while you're out during the day, being able to make sure that you're well rested. And then on top of that, also, when you have more energy, you're able to exercise more, you're just able to employ healthier habits. So I think that is part of the health message that we preach so much. It all starts with how you start your day.
She's just stepping on our toes. I know I'm not a morning person, and I know I clearly need to be. I've actually this week just started getting up earlier just to see what happens, and I will agree with you. My day is a lot more productive.
But what we were talking about a little bit earlier in terms of like the literal sense of what it means to get up early, I think it's very relative, to that individual. So I think
That's true.
For this particular woman, she rose early for a purpose. I think just the way that our world is designed, that typically things start when the sun rises. So if that's when the day kicks off, then there is something to be said for being prepared before all of that chaos begins. I think that this woman was a woman who knew she had a lot to give. So she had to make sure that she took time for herself. She had to make sure that she poured into herself. And I think that's important today as well, especially with all the chaos that we deal with. I know for me, I like to, while it may not be 6:45 in the morning,
Right.
I do like to make sure that I spend some time with God in the morning before my emails begin. And I know about what time that is and about how much time I have before I feel obligated. And I think we as women are natural. It's natural for us to feel obligated, or it's natural for us to want to respond to a need. So we have to make sure that we take that time before people need us, and whatever that looks like in your life, then it's important to do that before that starts.
Yeah.
And even the concept when we were talking earlier about what waking up early looks like for you and the season that you're in life.
Yeah.
Because if you're a woman who is working the night shift as a nurse,
or
you can't be up at 5 a.m.
No, it wouldn't be practical.
Or you may be up at 5 a.m., but you may be up at 5 a.m. working. So it's not like you're pouring into yourself. Your 5 a.m. maybe your 7 p.m.
Right.
So you're rising early.
It's
just a different time.
And there's something to be said for the time that we're talking about. This is before people had electricity. So there is something to be said for making sure that you beat the sun. I get that, because you really have the sun to rely on. Whereas nowadays we have lamps, and we do have the schedules that can't be flipped. I think it's I think there are more night owls nowadays than you probably had then. And so I understand someone's argument that, well, there's so many examples of people who rose early. And I get that, but now you don't necessarily have to rise as early to be any sort of life. To be as productive. You can be very productive late in the night.
Yeah.
Matthew Henry, I love his commentary. He was encouraging us not to sleep in until 12 p.m. And then just use the rest of the afternoon to do your work, because you really just you're not capitalizing on the hours of the day that God gives you.
I can understand that.
Absolutely.
And everything that we're supposed to be doing is to the glory of God. So
It's
at the
all
end of the
back
day,
to Him.
we spend our entire day doing nothing.
Yep.
Not being productive with the time that God has invested to us.
Right.
Then it's not to the glory of God.
Right. And the Bible tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves. So the whole idea to me of sleeping the day away is so self-indulgent that it just seems so completely selfish. So I think just to make it very clear that when we're talking about the woman who may need to flip her day simply to spend that time, she's not flipping her day because she slept her day away.
Right.
I think she was intentional, like someone said earlier. Like, she was very, very, very intentional. So that is definitely a takeaway that I can appreciate Dion pointing out, is how intentional she was about her time, how intentional she was about seeking out resources, the way she was going to spend her money. I think that is my takeaway.
That's awesome. So we want to know, what are your takeaways? We'd love for you to comment below and let us know what are the things that you can take away from these 3 verses. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff that you're supposed to do on YouTube, okay? Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.